All right, welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I am your host, Ayanna Smith, and I help people in various amounts of ways, but with final expense, mortgage protection. I help you with your retirement to build money to becoming your own bank. And that's what we are going to get right into right after this quick introduction. Well, hello. All right, we see some people already coming in. Hello. So great to see you all and be nice, be kind. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, Ayanna Smith, and welcome to Money Talks. And we've been talking about BYOB, and that is becoming your own bank. And of course, we know that in this time that we are in, everything is going to the left, so to speak. We know that inflation is hitting us. We know that everything is going up. But you know, one thing I know, even though we look back and we say, wow, the prices are going up, we still seem to make it some type of way. We still thrive, we still survive. But here's the thing, we want to really be able to take this thing to the next level, because what ends up happening is when we go into the time of when it's talked about a recession is coming, we should already be prepared so that we can go scoop up the spoils when the what do we say, the recession, depression hits. When it hits, we should be able to be right there to scoop up things and be on point with it. So it's all about not saying, oh my goodness, I'm scared to invest money, I'm scared to put money away. Well, yeah, we'll put money away and it'll go up and it will go down, in and out. Yes, it will. But it's all about the consistency of it. And if we don't put anything away, guess what? Here is the quick answer. If we don't put anything away, quick math, we will get what? Nothing. Because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Nothing times nothing leaves nothing. Nothing minus nothing leaves nothing. And nothing plus nothing. Divided by nothing is nothing. And so we want to make sure that we are focusing and getting ourselves together. Absolutely. So, with that being said, all right, we want to look at BYOB. We talked about in future, well, some of our previous broadcasts that we were talking about BYOB, that's becoming your own bank. And that means that you are positioning yourself and your families. And even, and I mean, and I know that I have a wide range of people listening and watching, even starting younger. It will help you to get the mindset together. Other than, oftentimes we want to go back to my banner, we want to eat, drink, wear, and drive all the money that we get, or we want to look a certain way, we want to appear to look all up, and then sometimes our pockets are on zero. But I know that's not the case with the listeners that are listening. So we're going to elevate and execute, move on up a little higher, right? So I've been talking from one of my books. I love to do research. And make sure that what I'm talking about is valid. Of course, that if I'm in a licensed industry, I'm a licensed professional, licensed by my home state, and then licensed in states abroad, across the U.S., to be able to help people to get into life insurance strategies and to help them to make sense of it. Because here is the thing: when you cannot make sense of something, then it makes no sense to you. I was able to, for example, talk with a client today. They patched me into their call and to their insurance company, and they were able to talk through some things and be educated. And that's my sole purpose, is to make sure that people understand all the way down to the minimum that you get understanding. So this is one thing I want to reach out before we really jump in. If you have questions, please connect with me, because the questions that you have are most definitely needed, necessary, and they will, provide you the breakthroughs that you need to think about, well, what do I do with my money? I know how to spend it. I have been taught maybe to save it in the bank, but how can I supercharge this thing and really make the money work for me? Because the money that's not working for us is just dead money. Money is currency. Currency is for real. Currency means that something is moving, just like the current running through your home. If there's no current running through your home, then there aren't any lights. The electricity is movement. So just like that, the money is electricity. Same thing as with you looking at the energy, it's moving through the lines of the home. We need our money moving, not through our hands so fast that we can't account for it, but we need to know where it's going. We need to name our money. We need to tell it where to go. And we need to make sure that we allocate and set forth a certain place for it to grow. Because if we don't tell it where to go, we don't tell it what to do, then it's going to do just this, go through our hands and dissipate. It'll be just like dust. We won't even have any, and we won't know what happened either. And so somebody said, well, what happened? I thought you had some money. I thought I did too. And that was it. It was just a thought. So to get ourselves on the right thinking pattern, of course, we talk about the mindset and getting ourselves all on point to getting our minds and our money all together. So let's go. Okay, I've been talking about that, like I said, BYOB, cash value in life insurance, and this is, of course, two types. I've gone through that. Make sure that you look at any replays on my YouTube channel, because that's where you will hear them and see things that we've talked about over and over again to get, and it's on the collection, of course, on the YouTube platform. And so we want to supercharge, looking at supercharging our savings with cash value life insurance. And some people may say, well, how in the world is that going to work? Well, something that is building cash, if it's cash value life insurance, number one is life insurance. And some people get really scared and pull back from it and think that it is something taboo and something that it shouldn't be talked about. But I will say this: everybody from infants on up to 1,000 years old, if we could say that, needs some type of life insurance or some type of vehicle, a strategy that is going to not just secure them having money when they pass away and then the family has to bury them, but learn how to, and that's why I said I'm an educator to my soul, learn how to ask the questions or talk about how can it work to build over and over long term. A permanent life insurance strategy is something that will build long term. So that's more like your whole life, your universal life, your variable universal lives, and your index universal lives. So you may hear them with the initials WL for whole life, IUL for index universal life, UL for universal life, and then the VUL for variable universal life. Now, the areas that I help people in would be the whole life, the index universal life, and the universal life. They all have their different functions, and we won't get all into them tonight. That's why we need to schedule a complimentary consultation by going to my website at www.askayanna to set an appointment so that we can talk about things that are specific to you. Because wouldn't you agree, when we talk about these two things, our health and our money, those are two things that are personal, and they need time so that we will get the full understanding of how each thing is working and functioning, right? Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. So looking at supercharging our savings through the vehicle of life insurance is basically you make deposits to yourself through the strategy of life insurance. So the life insurance, of course, yes, has several functions, can function in many different ways. If we're looking at something that's like a final expense, that's a whole life, and it will function as such. There are some other policies that will help you that are whole life, but you may be able to get larger face amounts. With the final expense, you usually get some smaller face amounts, maybe up to 50,000. It just depends. But the thing is, it issues quicker, so that upon the person's passing away, the money is there for the family to take care and be able to bury or cremate or however, whatever type services are there. But it builds, like I said, a little bit of cash, and most of the time as well, when the death benefit is issued to the family, whomever the beneficiaries are, there is a little interest attached to that face value as well. So whatever that face value of that policy was or is, there will be some type of interest attached to it in between the time that the claim is made and the company is notified that the person has passed away. So let me go back really quickly. What I was sharing with you about a client that I was working with today, sharing with them and the agent on the phone to say, look, listen, can you explain a little more detail so that they can make some informed decisions? I do that as well. It's basically like a coaching piece to help people through understanding, because when we don't understand, we don't understand. So we do that, and then we help people get into the right types of life insurance, whether it's for their children to start building for college, or building long-term strategies for later on down the road. Your children don't go to college and they say, well, hey, I'm not going to college, but I am going to a vocational school, or I would love to buy some real estate. Then there will be money there built up in certain strategies if they are put in place immediately. So let's get moving with that and schedule that complimentary consultation so we can talk about that. But here we are. When we look at this life insurance, we won't say life insurance is an investment, but I will say this: it is an investment into yourself, because it can do these things as far as when we're talking about getting returns, getting better returns. Some people may beg to differ and say, well, I can just put my money in the bank. I don't have to become my own bank. Well, if you put your money in the bank, we know that the bank isn't issuing hardly anything as far as interest. Like I said, we are in a down season. So the banks are issuing as least as possible, as less as they possibly can. The bank collectively uses our money. It's called usury. They use our money and they reinvest, because we talked about in prior broadcasts, banks are heavily funded and invested and have assets in life insurance. So we should do the same thing. Yes, they're a corporation, but we can become our own bank and become our own corporation if we fund these things correctly. It has to be a way for us to be able to get above just getting by. And there are ways. And this is one of them: investing your time and investing in yourself through getting the vehicle of a life insurance strategy so that you can start building your money tax-free and all that. Now, some people may be against that, but hey, if you're okay with throwing money away, then fine, keep throwing it away. But one thing I know, that no matter what the time, the day, the hour, the season, recession or not, insurance industry never goes down. It is one of the three main industries that don't go down: retail, real estate, and financial services industry. And the financial services industry is always tip top, with millions and billions and trillions of dollars steadily flowing. Because here I say, oftentimes I say, money is currency. It moves, it keeps moving. And money is always moving, even if we don't have any that's moving. I say my banner each time: money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. So this is why we are talking about it, so that we can do something about it and keep our monies with us and help it to grow and grow. Okay, so here we are. Can I get a better return? Yes, you can get better returns. So one thing we want to talk about this evening: you can get better returns if you get the right type of insurance policy, because your money, of course, is going to be there long term. So it's not going to be a quick in and pull right out. Don't think of it as, oh, this is my ATM machine, until down the road, and then the money is there. The client had a client that needed money because they got laid off during the recession, or couldn't work during the recession, I would say that, or during the COVID season. And they were able to go and get money from their policy because they had been placing money in it and saving through that, as well as had a death benefit, as well as living benefits that I talk about so much, to make sure that if you get sick with critical, chronic, and terminal illnesses, That's a way to have money to cover you. So that's something that the bank cannot do, because you tell me, will the bank cover your illnesses if you go to the bank and say, hey, I want this money to cover my illness? You might get crickets, right? Maybe, maybe not, but probably usually not be able to just get it like you would if you have already been building those funds yourself through your own life insurance. Even if you have life insurance on your job, that's not going to cut it, because it does not give you the privilege and benefits for the most part that you will in finding something that's going to be supercharged for you. That's why we need to talk and have a complimentary consultation. So the calculation, let's just do some quick math. I'm going to work with basic general numbers. If the life insurance policy that you have if that life insurance policy is yielding you, say, for the money that you pay into your policy, you pay your premiums, and it is yielding you 10% annually. Let's just go annually. And your bank is only giving you 0.1%, meaning a tenth of a penny. Then who do you think is going to come out the better at the long run? Now, yes, we need our money in a savings account because we need that liquid money, as I always say that. But if you're talking about long term and making sure that you have a nest egg, something that can supplement your income as you're getting older, something that can supplement or either pay for outright your children to go to college or grandchildren to go to college, or if you have that money where you get sick and you need to pull money from there, the bank is not going to do it like your supercharged life insurance policy can. So let's talk about that. Okay. Now, another part is another good key. So we talked about that supercharge where you are, if you're taking notes, you can get a better return through certain life insurance policies. Now, I will say this, let me side note this, because sometimes we don't fully understand what types of life insurance policies will yield us money. It has to be a whole life policy, an index universal life policy, a universal life policy, or a variable universal life policy to yield money, because those are what we call permanent strategies, meaning when a person, a client, gets that type of policy in place, it will usually last them on through their old age. Okay. And so then this is where that's going to build the money. But the other type of insurance is your term insurance. And that's in increments of, just like we say, a term, a shorter period of time, or a period of time, not necessarily short, because you look at some 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, some even 40 years. That's a term. But once that term is up, but that time is over, that policy ends. So that type of policy does not build the cash that we're talking about to allow us to become our own bank. But you may have some perks in there where you are able to have the benefits, the living benefits. But like I said, each thing functions on its own, and we can talk about that to give you further clarity. Now, to move a little further, the second thing that we're going to look at is tax-free death benefit. There is a tax-free death benefit because anytime that someone passes away and they have a life insurance policy on them, the family, the beneficiaries, will receive the money from that policy tax-free. So it's not like you're getting with retirement, you put the money in pre-tax, meaning they didn't take any taxes out of your check to put the money in when you were preparing for retirement on your traditional 401ks, 403bs, 457s, TSPs, all of those things. Those monies were taken out pre-tax. That was a benefit for that time, especially when you looked at your taxes and your tax income return and all that. But when it is time to knock, time to open that door and get that money out and start your distributions, then that money is going to come in a check, and it's going to come in a check and be taxed just like you are getting your regular check each month, bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, however that's set up. You get taxes taken out. Taxes will be then taken out of those retirement strategies. So this, on the flip side, looking at saving money and building through the vehicle of permanent life insurance, becoming your own bank, Your money will not be taxed because it's already been taxed. So it comes back to you in full plus interest. So when the beneficiaries get that money, they have that face value plus the interest. And I know, those of y'all who are just near and dear, people are near and dear to your heart, you want to make sure that they are taken care of and secure. That is an added benefit to your family, so that they don't have us. If we pass away, they won't have us anymore. But unfortunately, that's the sad part. But then they won't have to be left in a total state of grief without any money to move on and carry out your final wishes. Okay, so here we are. And I kind of blended this together. The third thing, and we'll wrap up, is Social Security. Well, we know, unfortunately, the Gen Xers, that's my crew, the Gen Xers, we're swiftly approaching the depletion of the Social Security accounts as we know it. My lovely baby boomers and beyond, they are pretty much about the last of the Mohicans that will get the total benefit of having Social Security. If they have, meaning if you have worked a W-2 job for years and years and retired, then at a certain age, you're able to tap into the Social Security accounts. And it was funded, and basically Social Security, to give you a little backdrop, Social Security accounts are funded by the people who are currently working. Meaning, I'm working, if I work a W-2 job, meaning where I'm getting a paycheck weekly, bi-weekly, what have you, the money that they take out of my check, your check they take out, funds the baby boomers, their Social Security retirement. So as it's going, when we think about, look at the way things are going, it is a time of the entrepreneur, because many of our people are shifting back to the entrepreneurship. And therefore, if you're not getting money that's flowing through the W-2 system, I like to say the W-2ers, if that's money not being funded through that system, then, and there's more people doing, like the ride sharing, or their hairstylists or contractors, what have you, that are making money on a 1099 system, then it's going to be hard to fund something that hasn't been put in. So it's the general concept of, if you haven't put any money in the bank, how can you expect to go to the ATM and pull some money out? Now, your expectation can be that you get there with your card and try to pull something out. But it might be a difference of, can I get $100,000, which is, not the bad, or am I only having enough money in there to get $10? Now, that's a big difference, right? So we have to make sure that things are set up and prepared. Where we're looking at the Social Security, is even the Social Security has to pay, in that it has to pay a special tax. So everything is going to be taxed, and yeah, you have to actually put into it to receive it. But sadly, we're paying it forward. And if nobody's coming up the rear and paying into it, there's nothing in the account when it's time for us to get it. So Gen Xers, we have to supercharge this thing. We're at the age where we're beyond having to supercharge, right? So let's talk about that even more. So the things that we kind of covered on this broadcast was, will I get a better return from becoming my own bank through the vehicle of permanent life insurance? I will say yes. If you agree, put a check in the comments. The second thing that we talked about was tax-free growth, making sure that money grows in a tax-free manner, and making sure that we don't have to pay all those taxes, or we figure out a way to not pay so many taxes. And then also with the tax-free money that comes from the death benefit, we pass away, then people that are beneficiaries will get the money tax-free plus interest. So that's a plus. Like I said, we're crying because you're gone, but at least your family doesn't have to cry twice, meaning you didn't have enough insurance or no insurance and you're gone as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's a third thing. And then the Social Security. Are we going to have any? So therefore, if we're not going to have the Social Security that we need, then it's time when we're younger to start funding our permanent policies and becoming our own bank so that we'll be able to have that money there and stored up when it is time to extract it and we need our allocations. So we talked about a whole bunch, and as we're wrapping up, it's been great. So glad that everybody has hung in here. Please make sure that you connect with me on all social media outlets, IG and my Facebook page. Of course, you all know you can catch me there. Make sure that you also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you need the replay for anything, any Money Talk series that you've heard or broadcast, go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Ayanna Smith, and there you will be able to not only subscribe, like, and share, but you will be able to listen to previous broadcasts so that you can hear something that will maybe pique your interest, and then we can get together and talk about it. So this is Ayanna Smith, BYOB, Become Your Own Bank. I help people as a financial professional to make and save money in a tax-free manner. Please connect with me on at askayanna.com for a complimentary consultation so that we can help you to get where you need to be. And for those who need final expense insurances, to make sure that you have something to cover yourself. For the elders, sometimes people have health concerns and health conditions and they can't qualify for certain things. I can help you most assuredly there too. Unless there's just something that I just cannot do, I will try my best to find somebody as an insurance broker to help you to get some coverage so that you'll have something to put yourself away with and that you'll have a peace of mind and get that taken care of. So we look forward to seeing you on the next time. And until we meet again, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.